on then. So the next one on my list is Assembly Member Cooper.
Thank you very much, Chair. Sorry, I'm a bit astonished, really. Apparently, we've now discovered, I think last month, that you can't own a dog unless you own an SUV, and we've now discovered you can't get pregnant unless you own a car. I won't ask you to answer my astonishment, Mr. Mayor. I actually wanted to ask you not about that, but about the issue. Comes back really to the point you were making about housing and developing London and seeing economic growth here. Obviously, TfL has quite a role to play in that in terms of the energy requirements that TfL itself will have, and also that necessary energy infrastructure that is going to be absolutely vital. So I wondered if you could share with us any of your expectations about the government's 10-year national infrastructure strategy, which is due to come out.
Assembly Member Cooper begins with a mix of humor and disbelief. She says she's astonished to learn that, apparently, you can't own a dog unless you drive an SUV. And now you can't even get pregnant unless you own a car. The room laughs, but her real point quickly emerges. She's shifting the focus toward London's housing crisis and the need for strong energy planning to power the city's future.
I think in the autumn, which will hopefully address some of the incredible challenges that we're going to face.
Yeah, I mean, this 10-year plan is crucial for our country, actually, not just for London. The Commissioner, housing developers, many others, those in the private sector who want to, build data centres and so forth, are really concerned about the issue of supply of energy. The Commissioner's regularly raising me the issue of supply of energy to bus garages. You and I visited one recently in Battersea, and we both heard about the challenges they had in terms of getting energy to the bus garage. Crucial. Going to have more zero-emission buses, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really pleased. Again, an example of TfL's innovation. We have now secured a power purchase agreement. So you'll have parts of ethics, solar panels providing energy for TfL. We're changing the market when it comes to the provision of energy, which the Commissioner can talk to more.
Cooper directs her question to the Mayor. She talks about London's development, its housing demands, and the vital role Transport for London, TfL, plays in managing energy. Then she asks, what does the Mayor expect from the government's upcoming 10-year national infrastructure strategy? And will it finally address the city's massive energy challenges?
But the point being is we need a long-term plan. I remember having a conversation with a developer a number of years ago where they said they've been told, even if they build a house as soon as possible, energy won't get to the development until 2035. Which, it's nonsensical in a city like London. So she's right to highlight forward thinking from the government, a really good potential plan, and we'll be feeding into that in terms of London's needs as well.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I'm coming back to the more specific issue of the development of electric buses. Obviously, it was great to be there in Battersea to see you launch the 2000th electric bus. But obviously that does create an issue for us in the bus garages, and perhaps the Commissioner could say what TfL is doing to ensure that there is sufficient charging capacity at bus garages, and are we thinking at all about having plates in the road at bus stops where buses can charge up, or pantographs or anything like that to assist them, because obviously buses stop in specific places.
The Mayor responds with urgency. He explains that the issue of energy isn't just about London. It affects the entire country. Developers, housing companies, and transport providers all face delays in accessing power. He recalls visiting a bus garage in Battersea with Cooper, where they saw how limited energy supply makes it harder to expand zero-emission bus operations.
Unlike all other vehicles on the road.
Yeah, thank you very much. As you know, we're currently on track to make the entire bus fleet zero emission by 2034. We have an ambition to accelerate that to 2030. We now have more than 2,000 zero emission buses. We have more zero emission buses than the entire fleet.
I mean, you've launched more since the one I saw.
Indeed.
Fantastic.
We have more than the entire bus fleet of Manchester. So
Manchester's quite small.
So we recognise the role that we play. The biggest challenge we have is around infrastructure and power supply, and of course the garaging that will be needed for a fleet of that size, because currently, based on the technology available, most charging takes a number of hours. So we're encouraging the industry to find more ways to improve the capability of rapid charging, which in turn then would play into the ability for us to put infrastructure in place along routes and at bus garages. We're doing some.
The mayor then highlights a major achievement, TfL's power purchase agreement. Through solar farms in Essex, TfL now receives clean renewable electricity. He calls it a market-changing innovation, showing how public transport can lead the way in sustainability. But he stresses the need for a long-term energy plan, not just quick fixes.
Innovative thinking with Heathrow Airport around what can be done at the bus station there, for example, is one of the busiest in outer London. Members will be aware of the unique trial that we're doing with the 358 in Crystal Palace as well, which is pantograph charging. So we're trialling a number of things to see what the options are. We're also not closed to other forms of zero-emission capability. As you know, we have a small fleet of hydrogen buses. If that technology and capability can prove to be more reliable and greener, then we'll be open for that as well. But we've really got to work with the power industry and the government around surety of supply. West London is a particular challenge, and we need to make sure that we've got real confidence in the availability and the supply of that, and reduce the time it takes to install power capability in the first place and the disruption it causes when it's done. So that's a real focus.
He gives a striking example. One developer told him that even if they built new homes today, power wouldn't reach the site until 2035. That's nonsensical in a city like London, he says. His message is clear. London needs forward thinking from the government, faster approvals, and smarter energy coordination to keep up with urban growth.
For us over the next couple of years.
I mean, you mentioned West London, but of course, if we're talking about the DLR extension, and if we're talking about increasing the number of trains on Thameslink when the Mayor takes it over, which is obviously something he's aiming for, and we'd all be pleased to see some more trains on that line, that's going to be yet more electricity that we're going to require. So this is an overall situation in terms of energy supply that's going to be critical for us with some of these other areas, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But we know across London, the West has much higher demands
under pressure
than the East. Clearly, that's going to change if we get DLR to Thamesmead. We also need to work, with National Grid and the suppliers around the infrastructure that's available. A lot of it is of a certain age too. As the Mayor mentioned, I'm really proud of what we've done with the power purchase agreement, the partnership with EDF. First of its kind on the scale that we're doing.
Cooper congratulates the Mayor for launching London's 2000th electric bus and asks how TfL plans to handle the charging needs. The Commissioner proudly announces that London now has more zero-emission buses than Manchester's entire fleet, and aims to make every bus in the city fully electric by 2034, possibly even by 2030.
We've got to think innovatively around what more we can do to support the grid and get more green power in, whilst also thinking about what the future needs. And of course, there's also a requirement for us to reduce our power needs. So the new rolling stock coming into service has regenerative braking. It puts power back into the system. They're lighter, so the overall demand is less to begin with. So it's not just about making sure we increase the supply of electricity, which is important. It's also about how we can be more efficient in reducing the demand as well.
Thank you. And just to follow on from Assembly Member Hall, on a completely different topic, the G1 bus is causing huge problems, the reduction in frequency. One of the things I've noticed as a G1 bus user myself, it goes into inside St George's Hospital, it goes all the way around the grounds. A lot of the users are people who've got a freedom pass, and it's quite obvious that when the drivers are keen to get everybody onto the bus.
The Commissioner admits that charging time remains a major hurdle. Most buses take hours to recharge, but TfL is testing rapid charging systems, pantographs, and even hydrogen buses. Trials are underway in Heathrow and Crystal Palace, exploring how to keep buses running efficiently with minimal downtime. He adds that TfL is also upgrading old infrastructure and working closely with EDF Energy to ensure reliable supply.
And then it becomes really overcrowded, and I've got photographs showing this all times of day, they're not tapping in. Do you think that could be why the bus operator thinks that bus is the capacity has been reduced because they're saying not enough people are using it. Is there anything we can do to get drivers to make sure people tap in, even with the Freedom Pass?
So drivers try and do that, but obviously it's dependent on the users being compliant. I've agreed already with some of them on the hall that I'll take it away to review the G1 specifically. There are some challenges around vehicle availability as well, so let me take that away. But clearly we need to make sure we got the use of data.
It's dangerously overcrowded now with people trying to get to hospital. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Before the session ends, Cooper raises a local concern: the G1 bus route serving St. George's Hospital. It's overcrowded, with elderly passengers often forgetting to tap and using their freedom passes, making it seem like the bus is underused. The mayor promises to investigate the issue and review capacity. The discussion closes with a strong message: London's transport future depends on energy, innovation, and accountability.